So the opportunities to train in Singapore is actually quite plenty. We're such a small country, so traveling from one spot to another is not too difficult. Yeah, the population in Singapore, slightly over 5 million on an island which is like, what, 45 kilometers wide only. Yeah, so it gets really crowded. We have like where we are, the Bedok Maze. It's perfect for training. We have Bishan, a hotspot where there are like granite walls. So it's easy to train there, and you don't disrupt anybody because they're out of the way, out of people walking past. So you don't disturb the citizens there. However, we do have some difficulty sometimes when we're training in, let's say, a more crowded area. So, you know, Singapore is really crowded. So places like right in front of shopping malls, if there is a spot there, we normally get chased away, or we get the police to come visit, and they do their routine checks, they take down your name and such. Parkour in Singapore is not illegal, but I would say it's not widely accepted yet. Yeah, it's getting better over the years. I can see the progression. People are really coming to us and say like, oh, wow, what are you guys doing? As compared to previously, where the first impression would be like, are you crazy? Yeah. We have a lot of playgrounds with the padded flooring, which is for the kids, but it works well for us as well. And man-made structures like wheelchair ramps and such. So they actually come in very handy for parkour.
I feel that the scene is, we do have quite a lot of people doing parkour, but the thing is, there's a lot of cliques everywhere. So every time when we have big jams like the National Day Jam, Chinese New Year Jam, or Christmas Jam, then Halloween Jam as well, everyone will come together. But other than that, yeah, it's quite fragmented, and there's like the Singapore community is not as united as I would like it to be, because there's a lot of different like cliques here and there and everything. And then like last time it was quite elitist, but it changed. They're becoming more welcoming towards newcomers and everything. So I think we did progress a bit, but there's more work that can be done.
In terms of the practitioners training, we have about close to 3,000 registered on Facebook on our Parkour Singapore group. However, actively practicing, I would say no more than 100, 200 practitioners, and that's kind of a lot already to say that they are actively practicing. Yeah. In the jams, perhaps during the weekend, we can get maybe 20, 30 perhaps. Let's say for the organized classes. Classes are usually very small, so no more than 15 to 20 perhaps. Yeah, sometimes it's even like 5 or 10 people. Yeah. For a long period of time, perhaps until 2010, there were no structured training. It was just jams and training with groups and everything. So I believe 2010, that was our first parkour coaching company was set up in Singapore under the name of A2. There is one guy who came out with A2, and then he started this coaching. So it's been about 2 or 3 years since there's structured training, and especially with the coming of Adept Level 1 just in August 2012. So this was the period where suddenly there were 3 other groups that came into the picture, which is Gymcraft, Superfly Monkey Dragons, and ADD Academy Singapore. Yeah. So right now it is actually very accessible to get parkour coaching. Right now I see a lot more female practitioners coming up as compared to last time, where if there was 1 or 2 it was a miracle. Yeah. But now it's not. It's very common to see females actually practicing, and I believe other than females, actually the age group of practitioners are still in the younger range. So perhaps from secondary school, like 14, 15 years old till their college, something like 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so this is the bulk of the practitioners' demographics now. There are other people who are like working adults, but they come in handfuls, and normally not in the I would say the indie scene, but more so where we'll see them in classes or organized trainings?
I think it's very welcoming, yes. Every time I walk into a parkour place or parkour playgroup like these guys have, everyone's smiling and sticking out their hands to, you know, for a handshake, and they are very welcoming and they are happy to share and help with anything that I need help with, you know. I can just approach any of the guys and say, how do you do that? And they'll just stop whatever they're doing and they'll take their time to show it. It's parkour, the community is very nice in that way. Like everyone's ready to help out each other. They're not like, oh, this is what I've got and I'm not going to share it with you, you know, that sort of thing. Everybody's very open and nice. Appreciate that. As far as age, yeah, I guess more older people could get involved, but it's not many. That's why 35 is as old as it gets so far, as far as I know, in this in Singapore scene.
First day of Singapore, I came and then I guess see Facebook and see jams, and I just come to the jam and say, hey guys, I'm from Malaysia, like say hi, and then just meet them and train. They are sick, their strength are, I say okay lah, good, because there's these big jumps they can do a lot of stuff.
So for the community right now, it's changed quite a lot with the global scene as well, I would say. The first generation Singaporean practitioners, there's just a few left who are kind of active. Currently, it's the second and third kind of generation who are actively practicing, and typically a lot of people like to go for big stuff nowadays. We still get a decent number of practitioners who go for the flow or go for the overall type of training, but personally I feel that there's a lot of people going for big stuff, you know, the bigger the better. It's just like mirroring the global scene. The parkour world, from my perspective, from Singapore, it's very confusing. There is so much going on out there and so many different schools of thoughts. However, personally, I like knowing where parkour started from, and I like to go back to the source to learn from it. So I follow a lot on the Yamakasi. I started off following David Bell as well, like all the stuff that I learned back then was greatly influenced by just David. And then as the years passed, I realized that hey, there is so much more out there as well. And yes, they had their differences and stuff, but in the end, the movement is what we are all here for. Whichever type of movement you want to do, go and do it. Follow who you want to follow, but just know what you're doing and why you're doing it. I think that's more important. So the names, you know, shouldn't matter so much to me, but just enjoying the movement in general. Yeah. So and then there is another school of thought where I think quite a lot of the Singaporean community follows as well, which is like those really good athletes out there, or really good practitioners or groups, and they're releasing videos everywhere, and we get really inspired by them. Our training goals have kind of shifted a little bit to, like, you know, big stuff or huge movement, spectacles. It is quite a wide range of where the Singaporean community has come to right now. But it's good. I think it's good to train everything, you know, flow, some big stuff for your mental capacity, all kinds of movement generally.
I feel personally, the parkour world is going through a lot of change right now, because there's like WFPF with Red Bull and everything. There's a lot of commercialization that is going on, which I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but we need to be careful about how it grows, because like things like the World Parkour Freerunning Championships, honestly, for me personally, I'm against it, because I feel it doesn't really bring out the good aspects of parkour. I'm okay if they want to have so-called competitions or games, that kind of thing, but they should do it, construct it in a, like, you know, you don't rate people based on their movement and all that, you know. Maybe you play like capture the flag, you know, in teams and everything like that, you know, there's a prize, but everyone has fun. But when you do it like an individual you rate their movement and all that, you know, like who are you to rate someone else's movement, whether it's good or not? Maybe it's functional for me, but it's not functional for them. So like, I don't think we should be moving in that direction. I think we should be playing more games like, you know, for hot lava, catching, everything like that with parkour, and you know, we can do get-togethers where everyone plays games together, and you know, maybe even prizes or whatever, but end of the day, everyone will still be friends, and you know, they won't be I'm better than you or something like that. Always try to help the weaker ones. Yeah.
The future of parkour in Singapore, it's one where we can see the scene really coming together. We see more organized activities, because although we've been around since 2004, we are not really active. There is nobody, you know, in a position where they step up and lead the community, because basically all of us have a lot going on in our own lives. So there isn't any appointed leader or de facto leader, you know, that we can look to. But it doesn't matter. We don't need a leader to be appointed to lead Parkour Singapore. What I hope is that everyone in the community starts to, you know, share the spirit of parkour, where it is about learning and sharing, you know, training with each other rather than segregated groups. You know, I'm an elitist, I train by myself, or you know, I'm comfortable with my friends, I just train with them. I hope to see everyone coming together and generally really to just improve the scene as a whole and represent Parkour Singapore.
Well, I hope to have you know, a proper maybe, you know, a proper gym or base that we can have in Singapore. But I'm a bit too minded about having a gym because, you know, training indoors and training outdoors. But at least have a proper, you know, base for us to train, and I'd like to see it grow more. You know, like maybe in our secondary schools or basically in the schools in Singapore, you know, introduce parkour as a co-curricular activity, or at least let us do some workshops over there. Yeah, because I think that's what the youth of Singapore need instead of video games all the time. Broke a jump.